Hey there, I'm Christina Johnson, Certified Transformational Nutrition Coach, and today I want to share with you some of the unwritten rules that I tend to follow during the holiday season that helps me to enjoy holiday foods and to be able to have some treats here and there without sacrificing my health and without gaining weight. And so, as I was thinking today about what I wanted to share with you, I was just thinking ahead to the next couple of months and how many opportunities there will be to deviate from my normal eating routine. Whether it's holiday meals with families or get-togethers with friends or work parties or other, social events. There are so many opportunities between now and I would say the first week or two of January to overindulge and to eat things that we just normally wouldn't. And I feel like, it's this balancing act between, yes, you want to enjoy the holiday season, and sure, you want to enjoy those social situations, but for me personally, it is not worth it anymore to eat a bunch of food that I'm not used to and then not feel good. And that's what tends to happen. It can make me feel tired. I don't have as much energy. I start to get headaches. I just feel more inflammation in my body and joint pain. And it's so easy to gain weight. And so what I realized is I, have switched to eating healthy over the past, 7-8 years. I have really kind of implemented some of these unwritten rules in my life during the holiday season. And it's not anything that I really necessarily set out to do, but it just naturally has happened. And so I figured I might as well share those with you just to give you some ideas on how you can approach the holidays. And, as I go through and share all 7 of these with you, you may not want to adopt all of them, but hopefully it'll give you a couple ideas of how you can approach the holidays and balance enjoying the holiday season with also feeling good and healthy and maintaining your weight. And my goal, as I kind of alluded to during this season, it is to just feel good. I want to eat foods that will make me feel good and healthy and have lots of energy. So if you think this information will be helpful for other people, would you take a moment and just share this video so that other people can get these tips as well? And I also have another resource that I'm going to share with you in just a minute, so make sure you listen to that because it's going to be really helpful for you as well. So here is tip number 1. My personal first rule is I do not eat any gluten. And some people may or may not want to adopt this. For me personally, I don't have celiac disease. I don't have a severe gluten sensitivity. However, I know that I feel so much better and I just have less inflammation when I avoid gluten. And that's an easy one for me to say no to because I've been doing it for so long. And I will also say another bonus to this is that makes it really easy to say no to lots of holiday treats because a lot of them have gluten in it and I don't have to think twice about it. So that's my first rule that I personally choose to follow. So you may want to avoid gluten. Maybe for you it's dairy doesn't make you feel good. Maybe it's sugar. I don't know. Whatever it is, just think about, is there 1 or 2 things that you just want to say no to completely? My second unwritten rule is this. I only will eat a dessert or a holiday treat under a couple different conditions. Number 1 would be if I had made it myself, or if I know who made it and the ingredients that's in it. And then lastly, it has to be worth it. So, I have lots of clients who do this. They might be offered a piece of cake. It's like a Walmart cake or something. And yeah, it would probably taste okay, but it's not the best cake ever. And it makes it so much easier to say no. So I want to indulge in a treat if I know that it has decent ingredients, if I know it's gluten-free, and if I know it's going to be worth it. And so that's kind of my basic parameters for deciding if I'm going to have a dessert or not. The third unwritten rule that I follow is that I will make the majority of my treats and meals myself using healthy, real, nutrient-dense ingredients. So for example, instead of cooking with like regular sugar or corn syrup, I'll find recipes that use honey or maple syrup or coconut sugar. So things that are a little bit healthier. It's still sugar, but it's a better option. And then I can also cut back how much sugar I'm using. Instead of using a cup of honey, maybe I'll use half a cup. Another thing that I like to do is instead of, using a recipe with regular flour, I'll look for something with coconut flour, or I've made cookies from plantains before. There's all kinds of options and healthier versions of flours that I will use. Or instead of using regular vegetable oil or, Crisco, things like that, I will look for recipes or swap out healthier fats like olive oil or coconut oil or butter. So that's kind of my third principle, is that I just want to make as much of the food as I can and make sure that it has nutrient dense ingredients, because then even though I'm eating, maybe a little sugar or something that I wouldn't normally, it still has different nutrients that will be helpful for my body, and it's avoiding a lot of the foods that could potentially cause inflammation. Okay, number 4. Oh, and I want to say, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. To help you find those recipes, I have actually put together a guide. And so I've tried a lot of different, healthier recipes over the years. Some of them have turned out amazing. Others have been a bit of a flop. So I have put together a list of 28 different recipes that I have used during the holiday seasons. They have good, healthy ingredients, and I feel like they taste really good. I've even served a lot of these foods to other people who don't follow the same, typical healthy eating that I do, and I still get their seal of approval. So I would love to share these recipes with you. I put them together in a guide called my Healthy Holidays Recipe Roundup. And so if you are already on my email list, you will get an email later this afternoon that'll have that guide in it. So be sure you're looking for that. If you're not on my email list, then you can request that I send that guide to you, and then you'll also make sure that you get any other future resources that I email out. So to get that guide, I'll put a link above the video when I'm done, but it's ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/holiday recipes. So you go there, just let me know what email address you want me to send it to, and I'll send you that guide right away. And so you definitely want to check out these 28 recipes. There's some really good ones in there. Okay. Moving on to my 4th rule that I personally follow, and that is I plan any deviations from my normal eating routine in advance. So I can kind of think ahead to my week, and if I have 3 holiday get-togethers or parties, I probably don't want to have treats or indulge in all of them. So I can think through, well, maybe at this 1 or 2 that I will. And so it also eliminates all those times when somebody just offers you something that you weren't planning for. My immediate response is no thank you, because I didn't plan for it in advance. And so just planning in advance when you are going to eat for joy, as I like to refer to it as, it really cuts back on a lot of the little snacking here and there. I also find the key to this is that you can't be wishy-washy. You have to decide in advance, okay, I'm gonna have a treat at this party on Wednesday night, but if somebody offers me something at work, I'm gonna say no. And you have to just make that firm commitment in advance, and when you do that, your willpower just increases exponentially because you've already decided that's how you're gonna handle the situation. So that's my best advice, is plan ahead when you are going to have treats or splurge a little, and then commit in advance to saying no the rest of the time. Okay, number 5 is that during the holiday season, I do this all the time, but especially during the holidays, I really make sure that I'm eating balanced meals every day. So I'm making sure that I get protein, fat, and fiber in multiple times a day for each of my 3 meals, because then my cravings are at a minimum, I'm feeling full, I'm feeling satisfied, and so I'm not as likely to crave sugar or to give in when somebody offers me something. So that's a really important piece of how I eat during the holiday season. Number 6, looking at my list here. Okay, when I follow these guidelines that I've shared with you so far, my number 6 rule is that no guilt is allowed when I do decide to indulge in a treat. Because if I'm planning in advance for it, if it's something that I know what the ingredients are and I know it has healthier ingredients, then I'm not gonna feel bad for that. And I think that's what really allows you to enjoy eating during the holidays, is because you have these boundaries in place. You know that it's not a free-for-all, but when you do enjoy your food, you're gonna enjoy it, and there's no guilt or regret or anything like that. There's no feeling like you have to go work out twice as long tomorrow because of what you ate. Okay, my last tip, my 7th one, this is one that as I was thinking about it, I don't think I've really focused a lot on it in the past, but it's something that I personally am really gonna try and focus on this current holiday season, and that is to eat mindfully. when you do decide to eat a healthy treat, eat it mindfully, slow down, chew it thoroughly, savor it. When I do, and when I've practiced mindful eating in the past, it really helps me get more enjoyment out of that food. It also will help you feel satisfied from one. So you can eat one cookie and eat it mindfully and really enjoy it, and then you feel good. You can just say no. You don't have to have a second and a third and a fourth. So that's one other practice that I would just really encourage you to try, especially when you're eating for joy during the holidays, when you're indulging on a treat here and there, is to really slow down and savor it and eat it mindfully. Okay, so I am curious. I'm going to give you a quick recap of all 7 principles in case you missed one of them. But let me know in the comments, which one do you think would be most helpful for you, or are you most excited to try and to implement? So we had, I'm going to refer to my list, number 1 for me is I say no to anything with gluten. So no gluten is my first unwritten rule. Number 2 is I will only eat a dessert if it's something that I made or if I know what the ingredients are in it, and if it'll be worth it. Like, it has to taste really good. Number 3 is I try to make my own treats and meals that have a lot of nutrient-dense ingredients in it. So instead of traditional sugar or flour, I'll use healthier alternatives. Number 4 is I plan any deviation from my normal eating routine in advance so that I know when I'm going to splurge. Number 5 is I am very careful to make sure I'm eating balanced meals with protein, fat, and fiber for every meal of the day so that I don't have a ton of cravings. Number 6 is if I'm following these rules, there's no guilt allowed when I do choose to enjoy a treat. And then lastly, number 7 is to enjoy any treats mindfully. So those are my 7 kind of principles that I follow during the holiday season. So put in the comments which one that you are going to commit to try, or more than one if you're going to do more than one. And then also make sure you get my Healthy Holidays recipe roundup, because it will be filled with lots of healthy recipes that you can try out that really do taste good. There's some of my favorites that I've put in there. So if you're on my email list, you'll get that this afternoon. Otherwise, go to ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/holiday recipes. The link will be above the video so that you can get it yourself. And if you found these tips helpful, would you please share this video so that more people can get this information? And lastly, be sure that you like my page so that you can see future videos and just different posts and encouragement that I share. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified when I have future videos. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that you do have a happy, healthy holiday season. And if there's any questions that you have, just put them in the comments and I'm happy to address them there. I will talk to you later. Bye.